Hello, I'm Morris Kochanski, Wilderness Living Skills and Survival Instructor. The topic I am examining here at the moment is the issue of finding something to eat. And what do you eat? And this particular emphasis of the books we have here is insights on how the explorers and various people that tended to have come on the scene quite early, and how these interrelated with Aboriginals that were already in existence, and how these people managed to find enough to eat to be able to find the energy to sustain their exploration and so on. The polar journeys, the role of food and nutrition in early exploration. It speaks for itself, and you'll find that as you read a number of these books, you begin to develop a notion of just exactly what is the challenge and what is the problem. The foraging spectrum, diversity and hunter-gatherer lifeways, gives an idea that should there be a big implosion where we have to fall back on our own resources, the intent of these articles here could give you an idea about the strategy you'd have to use in order to be able to find enough to eat. Aboriginal plant use in Canada's Northwest Boreal forest, which specifically relates directly to our own neck of the woods. A particularly well worked out book on about 80 of the edible plants found in Alberta is Harrington's The Edible Native Plants of the Rocky Mountains. Although they say the Rocky Mountains, generally most of these plants are found all across Canada, but the closer you get to the mountains, the more the list is extended. John Kallas is a fellow that I've encountered a number of times in the rabbit stick events, and I'm particularly impressed with his scholarly and knowledgeable approach to the subject of edible wild plants. There are probably a couple hundred books that would have edible wild plants somewhere in the title, and we have many to choose from, but you won't be sorry if you acquire this book, and it's quite current, very recently published, and very, very instructive. If you are spending a lot more time in the Arctic and you're wondering how the Inuit got by, and we all intuitively know that there must be quite the challenge to live off the land in the polar regions, well, you will be totally conversant with regard to the challenge and how the polar people got by as well as they did. And last but not least, food and emergency food in the circumpolar area. I hope this book becomes available. It was a paper written by a Swedish scholar at the University of Uppsala, and I would say that it was one of the very first books that went into such great detail about useful information that a person who wants to live off the land under the terms of wilderness survival would want to know. This probably, to me, was the most valuable of the books and still is. Now, we've only mentioned 7 books here, and in the future there will be categories of books that I will bring up. But the situation will be that these would be very valuable in anybody's library if you're interested in how people lived and how people managed to find enough to eat, to find the energy to carry on an everyday existence.